You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
And good morning, glad you're with us. It is Tuesday morning, April the 10th. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up and joining us this morning.
First off, breaking news in Sarasota on the scene of an officer-involved shooting right now in Newtown.
So here's what we know right now. 2 officers have been injured. That shooting has triggered heightened security at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. ABC 7's Marla Spence joins us now live from the scene.
Good morning, guys. I'm live at Janie's Garden Complex apartment on Central Avenue in Sarasota, and this is where police just took down the crime scene tape that was once blocking off an area of the complex where detectives were once talking to neighbors and possible witnesses. Police tell us that that shooting happened around 1 o'clock this morning right here in this parking lot. Police were on patrol when shots were fired, but police aren't saying much about what happened. Police are confirming that 2 men were shot and drove themselves to the hospital. They have none life-threatening injuries, and a spokesperson for the Sarasota Police Department says the 2 officers who were injured are expected to recover, but would not say how the officers were injured. Police say this is an active and ongoing investigation. Right now, there is heightened police presence and security at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. A spokesperson for SMH tells us a small group showed up out of concern for the shooting victims, and they are limiting the entrance for patients and family members. That will be happening until the hospital opens up later this morning. And once we find out some more information, we will bring you the latest. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you. We have a crew at the scene and a crew also at the hospital. Updates throughout the morning right here. Also check out our app under WWSB or under My Suncoast. All right, 5:02 now. Let's switch gears and talk about today's weather forecast.
That's right. What's looking out there today, John Scalzi?
Busy day in the weather department as well.
Yeah.
We have a good chance of seeing some showers, thunderstorms, and perhaps even some fairly heavy rainfall with some stronger storms that move through here during the afternoon. Right now, it's located mostly to the north along a frontal boundary that's basically stalled out at this point, but will slowly sink south across the peninsula as we head into the afternoon. They're getting some heavy rainfall north of us. They could get 3-4 inch rainfalls. That's pretty impressive for an April shower. As we watch this tail end of the system, a cold front will develop there, which will sink southward, move through our area probably between around 2 and 5 o'clock tonight with excellent rain chances and maybe even some stronger storms. Titan radar right now for our area remains quiet, and I think the morning commute should be okay, but clouds are gathering just to our north. And the rain shower chance today, well, by the time we get to around 3 p.m. or so, we'll be at about 60%. But I think between 3 and 7, our rain chance goes up probably another 10% to 70%. So it's a good bet that we'll get some rain across the area. Much needed rain, I might add. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thanks, John. Checking the roads first off in Manatee County. They'll build up there on 301. Or is that 41 up there by Palmetto? So be aware of that in the southbound lane heading back toward the Manatee River. Also a little blip there on 64 westbound on the way toward Palmasola. Let's check the northern half of Sarasota County now. The Lakewood Ranch, some issues there getting out toward the Virgin Diamond. You'll see that in the westbound lane. Nothing major so far. And checking our final maps to the south, a little blip there at the top left corner of your screen, 41 southbound as you get past Clark and head toward McIntosh. Otherwise, pretty clear at 5:03 on this Tuesday morning.
Developing this morning after the video went viral online, a hit-and-run victim is now speaking out in the hopes of finding the other person involved.
Have you seen this video? A shocking road rage incident caught on Beneva, not too far from Bay Vista. Watch now as the car veers into that motorcyclist. That cyclist is a Darren Hendrickson. He was riding that bike on Bay Vista. There he is now. We spoke to him. He said after it happened, his first concern was about his son.
My son was the only thing running through my mind. Once I realized I wasn't dead immediately, it was more or less a fight or flight. You know, I gotta be here for my son.
The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is still trying to identify the driver in that video. He could face aggravated battery charges as well as the cost of replacing Hendrickson's $9,000 bike. Right now, police are investigating a cause of an accidental shooting involving one of their own in Northport. An off-duty officer was injured at the Morgan Family Community Center in Northport. The 25-year-old unnamed officer wasn't in uniform and was taken to a local hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Now, Sarasota and Northport police are working together to figure out just what happened to him.
This morning, Sarasota police are still searching for a man with 45 previous felony charges that they say is a suspect in last week's shooting. Take a look at your screen right now. Coming up, police are searching for this man, 33-year-old Linval Cahoon, who police say is armed and dangerous. The shooting happened along 21st Street. Now, they say Cahoon shot 2 women at close range. Like we mentioned, he has 45 previous felony charges, including aggravated assault and robbery. If you know anything, you're asked to contact the police.
Well, it's been talked about on and off for years now, and tomorrow, Sarasota County Commissioners will formally address the issue of paying to park at Siesta Key Beach. They'll look at how much to charge and if Sarasota County residents should be exempt. Most beach public parking in Florida has charged parking. People we talk to have mixed emotions. The former Siesta Key Village president says charging a fee will be beneficial, but only if Sarasota County property owners are exempt.
We want to keep the money on Siesta Key and try to relieve as much traffic as we can, and the trolley's the way to do it, and this is the way to finance the trolley.
The county also talked about what kind of meters they want to use in the lot. 3 recent surveys show a majority of residents are in favor of charging tourists to park at the beach.
Well, no more roosters for you, Palmetto. City officials there are trying to push to update an ordinance that would ban roosters and limit the number of chickens that homeowners can keep. Numerous complaints from homeowners there has city officials pushing to update a bird sanctuary ordinance that's been in place for more than 40 years. Now, that update would ban roosters and then limit homeowners to keeping just 6 hens. Anyone who has roosters or more than 6 chickens within city limits, they would have 90 days to relocate them.
Our ordinance hadn't been updated since 1975, and as we've progressed, we've just become more and more of an urban community, and so we're having to address that.
Any type of sustainable farming you can do yourself, where you have access to fresh eggs, fresh meat yourself, and just even as a pet, is a wonderful thing. But I understand the inconvenience for your neighbors and your community as having a loud bird screaming first thing in the morning.
The rooster decision will be on next week's agenda at the City Commission meeting, where it is expected to pass.
In other news now, 5 Pineview students have earned a top spot in a national math competition. The juniors and seniors seen here advanced to the finals in the popular MathWorks Math Modeling Challenge. This year, the competition drew more than 4,000 students from across the country. This Osprey team will head to New York City April 30th to compete against 5 other finalist teams. Pineview continues to impress. It's just amazing.
Always, always.
Great
Good
school.
stuff right there.
5:08 right now, still ahead. First alert traffic and the tax deadline now a week away. We've got a few common mistakes you'll need to avoid that could cost you some money.
And later in the hour, Facebook's CEO is going to be feeling the heat later on today as he gets set to face lawmakers and face a lot of questions for the first time.
Here's a peek way up high from outer space.
This is out of Ray's window again, you guys.
Waves, Stephanie.
Hello. Love Ray's secret window.
Yes, that sounds nefarious. All right, John, do you see the clouds we're talking about today there?
I see where I parked. So we're looking at, we're looking at a lot of cloud cover across our region today and some fairly heavy storms in progress at the moment through parts of North Florida, producing perhaps 4-inch rainfalls up there. I mean, it is going to be a sloppy mess. All of that will slowly sink southward into our area. I don't think we'll see rain quite as heavy as that, but certainly rain is in our forecast. Locally, things are quiet for your morning commute, but watch out. On the way home, you'll probably have a good chance of showers as our rain chances steadily go up. We'll talk about the forecast coming up in a few.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore two hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC 7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
WWSB ABC 7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC 7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now. Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So yes, yesterday it was a warm and kind of sticky afternoon. You kind of wished it would rain so we get a little bit of cooling downdraft winds. Didn't really happen. Inland areas saw a spot or two of showers, but we're right now at about the same place we were yesterday morning. Hot, kind of humid, well, hot for this time of the morning, 75 degrees. Dew point value solidly in the 70s. Here's the thing. Over the next 24 hours, that dew point value is going to plummet, and it is going to feel so nice tomorrow compared to what it feels like today because that dew point value will be slashed. South wind coming in about 9 continues to pump that moisture up. That wind, by the way, will be increasing, and boaters, yeah, it's not going to be such a great day to be boating or sailing, I think, because of the shower and thunderstorm activity that will be coming our way later in the afternoon. About a 20% chance of a 7 a.m. shower. That's not much. Coming in at around 72 degrees as temperatures fall a few degrees by then. I don't think you'll have much of a problem with the morning commute. But then as we go into the afternoon, lunchtime we're up to about 40%. By 3 p.m. we're up to about 60%. And showers and thunderstorms will be moving in, some of them producing some fairly heavy rainfall and some gusty winds as well. So a good chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon period. And then by 7 p.m. this evening, it'll be about 70% and we'll be tapering it off. A lot of heavy rainfall up around the northern parts of the peninsula of Florida. There's been some 3-4 inch rainfall estimates produced in the last couple of hours by some of the computer models. So significant rains falling, and we're already seeing some development out here in the Gulf waters that's heading in that direction. Now, eventually, what we'll see is the frontal boundary that's associated with this whole system drag a low-pressure area and a cold front closer to the peninsula. As that happens in the afternoon, our rain chances go way up. Then, as that front sinks south and clears our area, winds will shift to the north to draw down some of that drier air, and our weather turns delightful starting tomorrow. So, the weather highlights are afternoon storms for us will linger into the evening hours. some possible periods of some heavy rain, and then we'll watch for that rapid clearing tomorrow. Here's the futurecast. Let's put it into motion. You'll watch fairly quiet conditions across our region for the morning. Then as we head into the afternoon and evening, some heavier storms approach our area. We'll watch those move on through, and then by midnight things start to clear out. And I think by lunchtime tomorrow, we'll see a lot of that cloud cover go away, sunshine return, drier air filter in, and the balance of tomorrow looks to be beautiful, if not just a little bit on the windy side. We'll watch for that. Total rainfall amounts for us, well, they're could be impressive, and there is the potential, according to Severe Storm Prediction Center, of a possible severe thunderstorm around the region. Not so much tornadoes, maybe some small hail, more likely gusty winds is what we would expect if one of those storms did turn severe, and that's located mostly in inland areas. So the forecast for us today shows those storms moving in, and rainfall totals in our area could exceed the 1 to 2 inch mark in isolated pockets. That's possible, but look to the north of us where those bigger storms are moving through currently. They could get 4, maybe even 5-inch rainfalls, as much as 6 in some isolated pockets. Storm number 1 moves past. Then we'll wait till the weekend, and guess what? Storm number 2 approaches our area, so that on Sunday we'll have about a 70% risk of showers and thunderstorms. Forecast looks like this for boaters today. Again, those winds picking up, southwest becoming more westerly during the evening at about 15 knots. And the forecast, we'll call it a first alert weather day because of the potential of some heavier rains. Could be some stronger storms around. Certainly it will interfere with your driving, I think, a little bit later on today. 70% chance of showers. Tomorrow, clear, beautiful. Couple of nice days actually in store for us, really till we get to the weekend when there'll be another 70% chance of a Sunday shower. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside your first alert traffic out there this morning. Starting to see some slowdowns already right near the corner of 41 and right there by 301 as well. Starting to see some blips on there, as Ray Collins like to say. That's all in Manatee County. If we head into Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad out there. Starting to see some slowdowns right there at Fruitville near the corner of 301. Some congestion right there, as well as Clark Road South. A little farther in the area, those roads aren't looking too bad yet. We usually don't see a lot of congestion until a bit later in the morning. Those roads are looking pretty good. If you're taking 41, it does get a little slow here and there, but nothing to be concerned about right now. 517, that is your first alert traffic. Well, it was a dramatic escalation yesterday as President Trump's personal attorney's office, home, and hotel room was raided by the FBI early yesterday morning.
The agents seized files related to an alleged payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. ABC's Arlette Saenz has the president's reaction.
A series of FBI raids Monday took President Trump's personal attorney Michael Cohen by surprise. FBI agents in New York City, armed with a warrant, raided his office, home, and a room at this hotel where Cohen was staying.
That is really now in a whole new level of unfairness.
Surrounded by his top military advisors who sat stone-faced, President Trump lashed out.
They broke into the office of one of my personal attorneys, good man, and it's a disgraceful situation. It's a total witch hunt.
Cohen's attorney, Stephen Ryan, called the raid, quote, completely inappropriate and unnecessary, adding it resulted in the unnecessary seizure of protected attorney-client communications between a lawyer and his clients. He said the raid was the result of a referral by special counsel Robert Mueller's office. Sources familiar with the investigation tell ABC News the raids were not about Russia, but FBI agents took a host of documents, including some possibly tied to Cohen's $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels in the days leading up to the 2016 election.
I think this is seismic.
The raid came 4 days after the president said he knew nothing about the payment. Cohen has said he entered into the agreement with Daniels out of loyalty to his friendship with Mr. Trump. Daniels alleges she had an affair with Mr. Trump back in 2006, a claim the White House denies.
Despite President Trump saying agents broke into Michael Cohen's office and home, the FBI did have search warrants for the raid. The warrants were obtained by an interim U.S. District Attorney in New York who was appointed by the Trump administration. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
Well, it was the least kept secret in politics, and it is finally official. Governor Rick Scott announced yesterday that he's going to be running against incumbent Senator Bill Nelson. Now, some key issues that could shape that contest include gun control after the mass shootings at the Pulse nightclub and Stoneman Douglas High School, and handling of disasters like Hurricanes Irma and Maria. Now, that race is considered one of the most important in the country because the winner will likely swing control over the Senate.
It's a race that's going to be very close. It's close today. I think it's going to be close in November. It's going to bring forth more money than we've seen, even in expensive Florida. It has national implications.
Now, Scott is in his 8th year as the state's governor. Nelson is the state's only statewide elected Democrat. He's completing his 3rd term in the Senate. And still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, Apple is going green, a big announcement about how they now do business around the world.
And the latest on the suspected chemical attack in Syria. But first, back in this area, here's a live picture from Sarasota Memorial Hospital related to an early morning shooting in the Newtown area.
That's right. 4 people are recovering from that shooting, including 2 police officers. It's also triggered heightened security at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. We'll be right back. We've got more details on this coming up on Good Morning Suncoast.
Grab your grass skirts and Hawaiian shirts and get ready to party. I'm Stephanie Roberts.
And I'm Joey Panic. Join ABC 7 at this year's island-themed Best of Sarasota Bash at Selby Gardens on Tuesday, April 24th. Sponsored by Sarasota Magazine and PNC Wealth Management.
Celebrate the region's best of winners with hula dancing, Mai Tais, and authentic island fare.
Get your tickets today at sarasotamagazine.com.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC 7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
An update now on that Bay Sarasota project. 3 concept designs are on the table for the 53 acres of city-owned bayfront property. None of the projects involve keeping the Van Wezel. The foundation there has plans to build a new facility, and that can be found on each of the 3 concept designs. The Boston-based planning firm is looking for community feedback on whether to demolish or repurpose that 50-year-old purple building.
The Sasaki team will take that feedback, come back in May with 1 refined concept and probably some alternatives that go along with it, but 1 refined concept. We'll go through the public hearing, public workshop process again.
So there are 3 community meetings next week, and they're on your screen right there if you can see them. They'll take your feedback on these 3 concept designs. For more information on the Bay project, you can check out our website, mysuncoast.com.
Well, in consumer news, 7 days, people. We are just 7 days away from this year's tax deadline. About 1 out of every 3 of us are guilty of procrastinating, waiting until the month of April to file, some till the very last minute. Now, some of you are included on that list. Do not stress yet. You still have time. We spoke with a tax expert about some of the most common errors that people make when filing the taxes themselves. Some people use the wrong filing status. That's not always the same as your marital status, so make sure that you know the rules surrounding that. If you find out that you've made a mistake on your return, it's not so hard to fix. All taxpayers do have until 3 years from the due date of that tax return to file an amendment if you need to make any changes in that case. Well, a green apple, sort of. The tech giant has made a big change to the way that they do business all over the world.
Details in this morning's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple's going completely green. 100% of its buildings now run on clean energy.
That includes every Apple store across the globe. Apple CEO Tim Cook says his company will keep pushing the boundaries to establish creative new sources of renewable energy.
Black Panther is set to leap into your living rooms much sooner than expected.
The film, produced by Marvel, a division of our parent company Disney, is still setting records at the box office, and now Marvel says Black Panther will be available for home viewing as early as May 8th. And Uber is getting a jump on electric bike sharing.
The ride-hailing company is buying Jump, which operates bike-sharing services in San Francisco and Washington, D.C. Uber's CEO says it gives users another transportation option. The price of the deal reportedly close to $200 million. That's a lot of bikes.
Yes, it is. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Sherwin-Williams Paint.
I found out the hard way. Not all washes take care of intimate odor. Now I know better.
Vagisil Odor Block Wash helps stop odor before it starts for 24 hours of odor protection. So get more from your wash. Get all-day freshness. Vagisil.
With Advil, you'll ask, what's sore back? What bum knee? Advil is relief that's fast, strength that lasts. You'll ask, what pain? With Advil.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Tonight on ABC7 News at 7.
If you've overheard someone talking about this case, give us a call. Even the most minute part of information that you might have might be the break that we need in this case.
It has been 7 months since Jabez Spann went missing. Someone knows something. What is known, what's not known, the effort to find answers. I'm Alan Cohn. Be part of the answer. Watch the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are, on our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android. Get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Good morning to you. It is 5:30 on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
April the 10th, I'm Ray Collins, and we've got some breaking news for you this morning.
We do. First this morning, breaking news in Sarasota. Police are on the scene of a shooting that has involved 2 police officers.
Here's what we know so far. 2 officers have been injured. That shooting has triggered heightened security at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. It happened on Central Avenue at 2350. That's the Janie's Garden apartment complex. Our Marla Spence is live at the scene. Marla, what's the latest from there?
Good morning, guys. The scene here at Janie's Garden apartment complex on Central Avenue in Sarasota is clear, but the investigation is just beginning. Sarasota police say that the shooting happened in this parking lot about 1 o'clock this morning. Police were on patrol when shots were fired. Police aren't saying much about what happened, but they are confirming that 2 men were shot and drove themselves to the hospital. They have none life-threatening injuries at the time, and a spokesperson for the Sarasota Police Department says the 2 officers who were injured are expected to recover, but would not say how the officers were injured. We spoke to a member of the community response team who was at the apartment complex this morning. The team, along with civic leaders and pastors, meet with families who have a need and are going through a tragic event. She says she responded to at least 4 shootings just this week. And everything.
Well, we're tired right now, along with law enforcement. We're tired of the violence, all the gunshots and all the shooting. So we just want to help our young people before somebody really gets hurt. And this gun violence needs to end.
And Sarasota Police Chief Bernadette DePino will be having a briefing this morning at 9 o'clock, and hopefully we'll be learning more on what led to this shooting. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Marla Spence.
We'll update this story throughout the morning here on ABC 7, also on our app under WWSB or under My Suncoast. Well, meantime, also busy right now in the weather office.
It is. John Scholes, you guys are going to have a busy weather day, right?
Looks that way, yeah. We're going to call it a first alert weather afternoon, particularly because showers and thunderstorms will be moving into the area at that time. Some of those storms could produce some pretty gusty winds, as well as potential for some hail as well, mostly in inland areas of Manatee County, Hardee, and DeSoto counties. Right now, very heavy rain falling across parts of North Florida. They could get up, in fact, believe it or not, 4 to 6 inch rainfalls in some locations north of us in isolated pockets. I don't think we'll see anything quite that heavy, but certainly some 2 to 3 inch rainfalls locally are not out of the question. We don't have anything going on right now in terms of rain, so the morning commute I think will be okay. It's just that drive home this evening where you may encounter some heavier storms around. The rain chances will continuously go up from the 20% this morning all the way up to about a 60% chance by the time you drive home or head out to do some shopping a little bit later on between 3 and 5 o'clock this evening. We'll have that complete forecast for you, including some big changes in the weather tomorrow, coming up in just a few.
Okay, thank you, John. Talk to you soon. There's the roads right now in Manatee County. You'll see a buildup there coming from Palmetto heading toward downtown Bradenton. Otherwise, relatively clear in Manatee County. Checking farther south now on the maps into Sarasota County. The only red is out there in Lakewood Ranch in the eastbound lane. Also, there is some red there on the foot of Fruitville Road at 41. And then checking our final maps to the south, we'll check that and find all clear at 5:33 on this Tuesday morning.
Well, President Trump is promising a quick and forceful response to the suspected chemical weapons attack in Syria that took place over the weekend.
As he met with senior military advisors, the president said they'll be making some major decisions over the next day or two. ABC's Molly Hunter has the latest from London.
It's a
This morning, President Trump making it clear nothing is off the table in Syria.
We're making a decision as to what we do with respect to the horrible attack that was made near Damascus, and it will be met, and it will be met forcefully.
The threat comes after a suspected chemical attack in Douma, a town just outside of Damascus controlled by rebels fighting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
It was an atrocious attack. It was horrible. This is about humanity. We're talking about humanity. And it can't be allowed to happen.
For the first time, President Trump criticized Russian President Vladimir Putin, Assad's most powerful supporter alongside Iran.
Does Putin bear responsibility for this?
He may, yeah, he may. And if he does, it's going to be very tough. Very tough.
He'll pay a price if
everybody's going to pay a price. He will, everybody will.
Assad's regime denies using chemical weapons, claiming the videos are fabricated. Syrian activists took video of Russian specialists allegedly visiting the site of the attack. Activists tell ABC News they were on the ground for just 20 minutes, and after their survey, Russia's foreign minister said there were no traces of chlorine or any other chemical substance used against civilians. 1 year ago, a suspected sarin gas attack in Syria prompted President Trump to order military strikes on a Syrian airfield as a warning to Assad. That airfield back up and running just days later.
And it's clear that last year's one-off didn't work. So if we see a response, we may see a more powerful response, but we also may see a response coordinated with international allies as part of a greater strategy. Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
Meantime, President Trump's lawyer is asking a judge to throw out a defamation claim by adult actress Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen says the claims should be dismissed partly because they don't fit the legal definition of defamation. Now, Daniels' attorney recently added the defamation to her original suit against Cohen and Trump. Michael Avenatti said Cohen implied that Daniels is a liar when he admitted to paying her $130,000 in a non-disclosure agreement. The president denies the affair and says he didn't know that Cohen paid Daniels. The FBI raided Cohen's office on Monday.
Well, thousands of former students can now begin collecting refunds from Trump University. A judge finalized the $25 million class action lawsuit against the real estate school yesterday. Former students that attended can get back up to 90% of what they spent on some of those classes. Now, some actually spent as much as $35,000 for just one class. Now, the goal of the university, they claim to teach real estate investing techniques that could make its students richer. Trump appeared in advertisements for the school itself, saying he had handpicked some of the instructors, but he could not name one in a deposition. He agreed to settle the lawsuit just a few days after he was elected president. And Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is getting ready to face some tough questions about the security of his social media site today.
He'll testify with the Senate committee today and a House committee tomorrow. Reporter Samuel Burke has our preview.
It's my fault. That is what we're expecting to hear from Mark Zuckerberg during his testimony on Tuesday and Wednesday at Capitol Hill. His prepared remarks have already been released, and he'll even be going as far as saying that he's sorry and that he takes full responsibility for what's happened here. Keep in mind, this isn't just about Cambridge Analytica. The remarks already show he's going to talk about fake news, which is spread on Facebook, Russian propaganda across Mark Zuckerberg's social network, and the steps that Facebook missed, the steps that they should have taken to try and combat this before it became a global issue. So many times we've seen that Facebook puts out a blog post after the fact, and what Facebook is finally realizing is that they have to get ahead of these major issues. They're realizing the power that they have on this platform. And it's not just about Mark Zuckerberg, although much of this will be about his leadership. This is really about Facebook's bigger business model, which is also the business model for so many other tech companies. But it will be Facebook that sets the tone, not just for data companies, but for so many different types of tech companies which rely on data and then use it and oftentimes sell it. Mark Zuckerberg didn't think that he would be in this position just a couple of weeks ago. He told CNN that he didn't think that he would be the right person to testify before Congress, that it would likely be somebody else from the company. But the type of pressure Facebook is facing now on its stock price with the world watching has made it imperative for Mark Zuckerberg to testify. We know from reports that Mark Zuckerberg has been practicing ahead of time, working with PR firms, working with people from both sides of the political aisle who have experience with this type of testimony to prepare him. So don't expect him to argue. The company has already fallen on its sword, but he says he doesn't like to be in front of TV cameras, so it could be uncomfortable for him at times. But we're about to see a true test of his leadership, not just for Facebook, but for tech companies at large. I'm Samuel Burke, back to you in the studios.
Some new steps in place to protect people enrolled in Medicare. New cards are in the mail to help thwart scams aimed at seniors enrolled in Medicare. Now, the cards will have an 11-digit identification number instead of Social Security numbers for better protection. Congress mandated the change by April of next year. All 59 million participants will be getting those new cards over the next year or so.
5:39 right now, still ahead. First alert traffic. And
after one student tested positive for a potentially deadly disease, hundreds of other students will now be tested at the University of Mississippi. We'll have that story for you next.
Here's a live picture from Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where they're on heightened security right now due to a shooting earlier today in Newtown involving some police officers.
That is right. We're going to have the latest details. Our Marla Spence and our crew. We've got one crew on the scene, one crew at the hospital. We'll keep you updated throughout the morning. But first, we've got another busy day in the Weather Center. Right, John Scalzi?
Indeed, active radar currently just to our north, parts of Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, seeing showers moving onshore from Gulf waters. All of that slowly heading southward. So on your commute forecast today, we're going to highlight the rain category and we're going to highlight the wind category because there is the potential for about a 5% potential for some damaging winds associated with some stronger thunderstorms later in the afternoon. Your commute to work looks good. Partly cloudy skies, shouldn't be a big problem. But coming home, that's when the rain chances spike. We'll talk about the forecast in a minute.
Fun for the whole family, the 26th Annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, benefiting special athletes of Sarasota County, fossil vendors, arts and crafts, food, children's games, and live entertainment with headliners the Gator Creek Band on Friday night, Rockin' Rogues, Maiden Cane, Glass Onion, Kettle of Fish, Paisley Craze, and the Boogeymen. Admission $4, children 12 and under free. Parking is free. The annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, April 13th, 14th, and 15th at the Venice Airport Festival Grounds.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Grab your grass skirts and Hawaiian shirts and get ready to party. I'm Stephanie Roberts.
And I'm Joey Panic. Join ABC 7 at this year's island-themed Best of Sarasota Bash at Selby Gardens on Tuesday, April 24th. Sponsored by Sarasota Magazine and PNC Wealth Management.
Celebrate the region's best of winners with hula dancing, Mai Tais, and authentic island fare.
Get your tickets today at sarasotamagazine.com.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders, innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
One of the motivating factors for me to become a Big Brother was that I was mentored as a youth. And it was important for me to kind of pass forward the things that were kind of given to me. It's really just as simple as getting to know a kid. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have any of those other things. You just have to be willing to spend a little time and help mold some young person's life.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at some very muggy, warm conditions outside. Warm for this time of day, 75 degrees, and a dew point value coming in at 74. So the temperature and dew point pretty close together, bringing our relative humidity way up there to 96%. We have a south wind that continues to pump the moisture in. Yes, we have some cloud cover around, but we really don't have a whole lot in the way of rain shower chance this morning. Only about a 20% chance through 9 o'clock, but by the time we get to noon, our rain chances start going up significantly to about 40%. And then as we head into the afternoon, I think we have an excellent chance of seeing showers, thunderstorms, and potentially some stronger storms with some very heavy rainfall at times. And in pockets, you could see anywhere from a 1 to 2 inch rainfall, maybe even more than that if the storms move over the same area one after another. Then as we head into the evening hours, I think rain chances about the same, but they'll start to dwindle after about 7 o'clock. Between 7 and midnight, you'll start to see the rain shower chances really start to go down. We have a lot of rain to the north of us, and boy, are they getting it in spades. They're getting as much as 4 to 6 inch rainfalls in isolated pockets. Widespread 3-inch rainfall, certainly not out of the question. That's good news for them. They really need the rainfall up there, and the drought indexes, I think, will start to fall because of this particular rain shower. The frontal boundary associated with a low-pressure area that's beginning to develop right in here will be dragging a cold front through our region as we head into the afternoon. That cold front will signal a big change in our weather over the next 24 hours. So there's our storm system. You can see these little impulses that are developing in the upper atmosphere that push those periods of heavier rainfall across the region. That low-pressure area lifts off to the north and to the east, drags this cold front closer, and we get some of those little impulses in the upper atmosphere that encourage the formation of larger clusters of showers and thunderstorms. There's a chance that some of the storms could become stronger this afternoon, but the chance is not all that great. Afternoon showers and thunderstorms linger into the evening. Heavy rains possible under some of those storms. And then tomorrow, by lunchtime, I think, you'll see the sunshine return, some lower relative humidity, and a beautiful day begin to shape up. The forecast calls hour by hour, put it into motion, shows chances of showers increasing as we head into the afternoon. I think especially around drive time this evening, we'll have some of these heavier storms moving in. Now, the Severe Storm Prediction Center gives us about a 5% chance of seeing some of these storms containing some strong damaging winds or maybe some small hail. That's not much, just marginal chance that we could see any of these storms develop into a severe category. Then as we head into the later evening hours, all of those storms are out of here by midnight, well to our south. And we're left with just residual cloud cover, maybe a scattered shower during the overnight. And then Wednesday, everything clears out, and we're left with some pretty nice weather. So get through this afternoon and evening, and then we'll be looking at, I think, a couple of days of gorgeous weather. Southwest wind becomes a little stronger this evening, boaters. Don't be caught by surprise because there will also be some big thunderstorms later in the afternoon out in Gulf waters as well. 70% risk of showers, thunderstorms, perhaps some gusty winds, perhaps some severe weather late in the day. Severe weather causes us to give you a first alert weather day today. We'll watch for clearing tomorrow, a couple of beautiful days in the forecast. And then another system approaches on Sunday with a 70% chance of showers. Maybe a need for a first alert weather day on Sunday as well. And then on Monday, we clear out once again and turn a little bit cooler, actually. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Not a bad trade-off there. We're kind of liking those numbers after today. Here's just a look outside your first alert traffic out there this morning in Manatee County. The bridges headed into Bradenton are starting to get a little bit busy there. We do have one construction note to tell you about I-75 southbound. There's a construction barrel on the road right there at exits 220, 220A, 220B, right there at State Road 64. So be on the lookout. There is a construction barrel on the road right there. It's affecting the areas of exits 220, 220A, and 220B State Road 64. 301 also starting to get a little busy right there around State Road 70. Then in Sarasota County, those roads are still looking pretty decent. We're starting to see some pickups right there on 41 as you head southbound, as well as Clark Road after you come off of 75. A little farther south in that area, those roads are not looking too bad yet. Starting to see some slowdowns if you're heading a little bit farther south on 41, but not too much out there at 549. That is your first alert traffic. Well, after one student tested positive for a potentially deadly bacterial disease, hundreds of students and staff will now have to be tested for tuberculosis at University of Mississippi. At least 500 people now have to be tested. Health officials are working with the university itself to test anyone who may have been exposed. That includes students and professors and even the staff at the health clinics there.
I mean, I'm honestly scared because I don't want that.
Not too worried about it. You know, it's always a possibility with college students around.
Now, exactly how that student came down with that disease is still unknown today. Well, these days, it isn't often that we hear about an outbreak of tuberculosis. So just what is it and how serious can it really get?
It's a bacterial infection that can strike the lungs. Health experts say that TB is transmitted from person to person through airborne particles and or bacteria. For example, when somebody with TB in their lungs coughs or sneezes or talks, TB germs can be sprayed into the air, and anyone can get it. Plus, it's potentially deadly if not treated properly.
And we are one of the leaders in public health in the United States through directly observed therapy. All cases of active TB in Mississippi are required to undergo directly observed therapy. That means we watch them take their medication each time they are required to take that medication. And so this is a cornerstone of effective, complete treatment. It can take months to treat a case of TB appropriately.
Not everyone with TB will get sick, but those that do often experience fevers and coughs and weight loss. You cannot get TB from shaking hands or from food dishes or other objects. Caught on camera, it's a video that's making its rounds on social media. An SUV drove through a convenience store in Massachusetts. Let's watch this together. Surveillance cameras captured the terrifying moment as a car blew right through the store. Just missed that female customer. It did hit a taxi driver outside before it came to a rest toward the back wall. The victim was a taxi driver. The driver is facing charges inside the SUV, and she's being held on $50,000 bail. And off goes that driver. Wow.
Wow, that is crazy video right there.
Happens so fast that those cameras catch that stuff these days.
I know, it is unbelievable.
We'll have the day's top news headlines in about a moment. First, let's look outside our window. John says it should be a very active day. A first alert weather morning. Big chance of rain. High of 81 degrees. We'll be right back.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
If you've overheard someone talking about this case, give us a call. Even the most minute part of information that you might have might be the break that we need in this case.
It has been 7 months since Jabez Spann went missing. Someone knows something. What is known, what's not known, the effort to find answers. I'm Alan Cohn. Be part of the answer. Watch the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Watch ABC 7 wherever you are. On our live stream, on mysuncoast.com, on the ABC 7 My Suncoast app, powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life, featuring traffic maps and live radar, dining with recipes, and My Suncoast Restaurant Guide. Visit mysuncoast.com. Click on the Apps tab to download the ABC 7 My Suncoast app for Apple and Android.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore two hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC 7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience, that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
2 Sarasota police officers were injured overnight after a shooting at the Janie Poe housing complex in Newtown. This is a live shot of the scene right there. Their injuries are non-life-threatening. 2 suspects drove themselves to the hospital for their own injuries.
Plus, Sarasota police are investigating an accidental shooting that injured one of their off-duty officers at a community center in Northport.
And the search continues for the driver of the car that ended a road rage dispute by veering into the motorcyclist. It happened Sunday evening on Beneva near Bay Vista. You're about to see it right here.
Oh, God.
Despite that, the cyclist was not badly injured.
And coming up in the next hour this morning, police in St. Pete are still looking for a suspect that we are calling, well, they're calling the Man Bun Creeper. Man Bun Creeper. Plus, I catch up with comedian and actress Allie Wentworth in the Hour 2. She was in Sarasota yesterday. She's married to George Stephanopoulos on Good Morning America. She starred in a lot of TV shows, a lot of great movies. So she was in town yesterday, and I think you like what she has to say.
Her mother lives here.
Her mom lives here, yeah. She may be watching. Good morning, Mrs. Allie Wentworth's mom.
Straighten up here.
Yeah. All right, there we go.
More news, more on that breaking news from Newtown after this. Stay with us. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.